Joe Pesci, he's back. He's out of retirement. I don't know. You know who Joe Pesci is?
I think I maybe recognize the voice or the name.
My Cousin Vinny, Home Alone, nothing.
Do you know Joe Pesci actually came out with a jazz album
Yeah,
that Adam
yeah,
Levine just produced?
Oh my
absolutely.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe Pesci
yeah,
actually was a musician.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Gave up acting and was in a jazz band for a while there
Man
back
of
in the
many
day.
talents.
Yeah,
And then,
Joe fucking
and then
Pesci.
Scorsese
Fucking love
came
that guy.
calling for Raging Bull and kind of brought him out of acting retirement. So,
Yeah.
way back in the day. So, little fun fact. But no, Pesci, it's a little bit of a different role for him. In this one, where normally he plays these tough guy mob bosses and angry and violent and everything like that. And this one, he still plays a mob boss, but this guy's a lot more reserved and kind of quiet and very, very tempered. And one of the things I found interesting, which Scorsese is able to do a lot of times, and a lot of these movies are, is you actually are almost empathetic and see these ruthless mob people as humans, and you don't agree with what they're doing, but you can almost understand their side of it, where it is just business, like it's not personal. Especially when they go and they take out Hoffa, like Pesci says to him, he's telling De Niro's character, he's like, who's close with Hoffa, and he's like, listen, we've given him every chance. We've given him every chance to walk away, every chance to not, and it's time. And not only is it time, but he's doing it very nicely. He's like, we need you to be the one to do it. And I'm just like, damn, like that's, and Joe Pesci's very nice about it.
What was the order that was given? You need to go over and paint the walls, which is code for blow his brains out and paint the walls with his head.
The code was De Niro's character. I heard you paint houses, which was jargon, mafia jargon for I heard you're a hitman. I heard you kill people. And he goes, yeah, I paint houses. I also do my own carpentry, which means I'll take care of it afterward.
Yeah.
Too. I guess I don't know, but I thought it was. I mean, I don't know. What do you say? You don't watch a lot of mob movies?
No, but I feel like there's a lot of shows and movies that are making the villain like the hero now. Like there's like the Maleficent movies and like going more Disney route, but they're just making these bad people so like you feel for them.
So maybe more layers to the character.
I like rooting for the bad. I mean, it's like Grand Theft Auto. It's like, the whole game was about it's being the bad guy, basically.
Well, the third season of 13 Reasons Why, it like went more into the background of the rapist, and like so many people were like, I feel so bad for him, and
you were like, what?
That pissed me off. But I was like, I could see where they get that, but also he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like you have to find the middle.
Awful human being.
Well, and with De Niro's character again, the guy the Irishman, he's the Irishman, he's the hitman. You wonder. I wonder some of these things when you hear people become a hitman, especially for the mob, but a hitman in general. How do you get into that work? Like, what kind of demented, messed up life did you come from?
Did you ever see the documentary Interview the Iceman?
That Richard Kuklinski did?
Yeah. That was, I think, a good example of you're born into a certain lot in life and you see certain things, experience certain things, throw some neurochemistry and structure in there, and
well, like I said, with Robert De Niro, with his character, he says, they show him he was a soldier in World War II, which kind of gives you the backstory and how it kind of transitioned to a hitman in a way. Was, he said when they capture these Germans, and he tells you this in the movie, because when you capture the Germans, your commanding officer tells you and your other guy to take the guys to the other side of the field. Now, he doesn't tell you to actually kill them, but everyone knows that's what you're doing. He goes, so you march the soldiers. There was 2 of them, I think, at the time. And you make them dig their own grave. And he goes, which is strange because they actually would dig their own grave. You think they would do everything not to dig their own grave, but maybe they thought you would change your mind, and they dig their own grave. And he goes, then you would just shoot them. And then you put them in the grave and you bury them. And he goes, that's what you did in war, because those were your orders. And so I think when he gets back to the States and he gets hooked up with the mob, and they explain how he gets hooked up, it's kind of through a happy accident. And then they end up asking him to kill a guy, and he does it. And he's just like, well, this guy deserved it. Probably same as he thought the Germans did. I mean, these were not nice guys that they were having bumped off. These were guys that had double-crossed someone or maybe killed someone themselves or owed the wrong people money.
But it's like with a lot of different things in life. If you can look at it on one end of, like, remember in Goodfellas, they're talking about these are just guys where they aren't college educated. I mean, this is the only way they could actually make a decent living and make some good money, provide for a family. So what if they had to kind of do some things, right? It's the same mentality that you hear when people that are born into inner city, like, street gang violence. This is, the only way you're going to get anything if you do this. And you rationalize doing bad things because you have some justification basically for it. Just like the uber wealthy in the country are born into a certain thing where they feel like they have the ability to basically do certain things and have a justification for it. It is the human kind of condition of, that's why I think we like movies like this, where you humanize something where they're awful, reprehensible human beings sometimes, but you kind of go, why were they that way? And then in some essence, you can kind of not necessarily feel sorry for them, but have an understanding of, oh, so that's why they became the way that they did. Or, oh, like with Richard Kulkinski, you kind of saw how his dad was. One how's Montreal and how's dad, and then like, oh, you look at like Trump, you look at his whole family and the way that it was, it makes sense. There is something about that, and we get like a window into it. And I think that's why we're very voyeuristic with certain movies. We're dying to find out why somebody does what it is that they do and what it might mean. And...
Now, Holly, if you encountered a guy, really hot guy,
a really hot guy,
really,
who's a hot guy that like your younger kids like? I call you younger kid. What are you, 22? Come on.
I don't know. Probably like Liam Hemsworth.
Okay, so let's say Liam Hemsworth is a hitman or
is he New Zealand,
killer, and he goes to prison.
Is he
right?
Brit or Australia?
So let's say Liam Hemsworth, is a serial killer or a hitman, and he's in prison, but he wants to be your pen pal.
Oh, for sure.
And he wants to maybe you get married in prison. Now you can't.
Does it depend what he's in jail for?
Like he wants to be like, hey, Now you're at least going to think about it, aren't you?
Oh, for sure.
So, like,
sure.